On our spiritual path, if we feel like nothing is moving forward or we're slipping back and then we get guilty and upset, is the hard work ruined? Well, Pujya Swamiji always says, along with hard work, you need heart work. And this is really where it's at, because when you lose motivation, as you say, what you have to ask yourself is, well, what are you motivated for? See, as long as my spiritual practice is something that I should do, you're not going to maintain it for very long. You can only be obedient in the absence of someone watching you for a short period of time. Little bit of our own internal sense keeps us obedient for a little while. But slowly, 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 if it's not something you believe, not something you're committed to, you slip back. The spiritual practice shouldn't be something we do because we should do it. It has to be something we do because in that is what I want. You don't stop eating or stop sleeping or stop doing things that we enjoy because we know in that is something I need. The minute I go without eating for long enough, eventually my stomach is growling. Go even longer, I start to get kind of dizzy, lightheaded, I can't really function. Don't get enough sleep. I feel groggy and cranky and not so well grounded and functional. Go a couple days without any sleep. Start to be incoherent. I know I need those things because in my life I want to be healthy and coherent and efficient and not with the stomach that's screaming and growling and cramping all the time. Not unable to keep my eyes open as I move through the day. So you eat and you sleep and you drink water and you do all the things that we know we need to do. But we also do the things that we want to do. And so anytime you find yourself saying there isn't enough time, all that means is I've made a value judgment. Because of course there's time. But what it means is that the things I've already dedicated my time to are more important to me than that. And that's okay. We have to make value judgments. We can't all do everything in a 24-hour period of time. We have to choose. But if my spiritual practice is slipping after some time, what it means is it's not a priority. It doesn't have something in it that I know I need or that I actually want. And what this means is you need to look within and say, well, all right, what do I want in life? So what do you want in life? I'm asking you.
To the best of my awareness.
What do you want right here, right now? I'm a genie in a bottle. Not in a bottle anymore. I've come out of a bottle. What do you want?
To have that experience of oneness, which I've heard people talk about, but I do not have that.
Okay. If I put 20,000 rupees behind door number 1 and the experience of oneness behind door number 2, which would you choose?
2.
Good. If I put 20 lakhs of rupees behind door number 1, which would you choose?
2.
Great. If I put being the most famous and beloved celebrity in the world behind door number 1, which would you choose?
I would think.
No, that's okay. Nothing wrong with it. This is good. We don't get anywhere if we're not honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. So you'd think, good, okay, so now what we know is money isn't such a big pull, but some fame, some acclaim, some global popularity, well, that sounds really, really appealing. Is there anyone that doesn't sound appealing to? It's a nice idea. Good, okay. So we could go through lots of different possibilities of things. Until door number 2 becomes more important to you, it doesn't have to be, interestingly, it doesn't actually have to be the most important thing in your life in order for you to dedicate some time each day to it. We all dedicate some time each day to things that are not necessarily the most important thing in our life. It just has to be more important than whatever else is occupying that 30 minutes or 40 minutes a day. So if, now that we've ascertained money isn't that big of a pull, well, so could you go into the office 45 minutes later? Think about it. Could you go in half an hour later? Could you go in on the same time but get up half an hour later? Come home half an hour earlier so you can get to bed earlier so you can get up earlier. But could you give up whatever salary you make in half an hour, 45 minutes of work to have an easy half an hour, 45 minutes of meditation? You have to think about, what is it I want and what is it that's in there for me? So if I know that that experience of oneness is more important to me than money, as you've just told us, then rather than, for example, taking a new job that's going to give me more money and maybe have more potential, but is going to require me to work many more hours a week, is going to require me to travel a lot, spend a lot of time in my car commuting each day. I'm going to have a much more stressed time at home because the hours are going to be much less at home. Well, then you make a decision that says, I know it's a good promotion, but actually I'm looking to increase the time I spend meditating, not decrease it. And so I'm going to pass. I'm looking to maybe be able to actually attend a satsang, an arti, a prayer meet, something maybe every day on my way home from work before I have dinner in the evenings. Which means I need a job that enables me to leave early enough that I can do that on the way home. So think about your life in that way. And make yourself, if you need it, a note that goes on the mirror in your bathroom that asks, for example, have you experienced oneness today? Right? You've just said that's what you want. That's your genie in the bottle wish. I want to have that sense of spiritual oneness. Well, it's yours if you give it the time. It is already there. You're not separate. It's just about experiencing the truth of who you are, which simply means you need to be quiet enough to get all of that which you are not out of your mind. So you need to make the time, give yourself the practice, the discipline, the opportunities. So if you feel really close to it, sitting in the arti, or you feel really close to it listening to certain mantras, or you feel really close to it doing seva and feeding people, for example, do more of that. Clock in less hours making money and more hours doing things that give you that experience of oneness. And if you find that you slip after some time, well then give yourself a note. Remind yourself what is important to you. You can just give yourself a little note that says door number 2. Whatever it is that reminds you of the choice that you are making. Because that's the power that we've all been given in this life, is to choose what is it that matters to us. What is it we want? There's no right answer to that. We all have the freedom to decide for ourselves. But if what we want is something on the spiritual plane, then we have to put in the time. If you had said that your highest goal was to make a lot of money, I'd say, well, you better get out of here and get working. We have to take steps toward giving us that which we want. If you said your highest goal was to be an Olympic swimmer, I'd say, get out of here, get yourself training. Start swimming some laps. But if your highest goal is to experience spiritual oneness, to experience divinity, to experience truth, well, then that's what you better start walking toward. And if you find you slip every couple months, book your tickets to come back here 60 days from now. Book them in advance, the non-refundable kind. Right? I mean, if I know that that's my pattern, beforehand, in advance, while I'm there, plan, all right, I typically can go about 2 months on a good stretch, and then I start to backslide. All right, so 60 days from now, can I book a ticket in advance to come? No, that Monday or that Friday, I'm going to take off. Then I have a long weekend, 3 days, I'm going to go. Don't wait till you've slipped, because the minute you slip, once you slip, then the mind gets even worse. Oh, those things don't matter. There's a good movie out. I'll go there instead. And then it takes a while to bring yourself back. So make plans in advance for, all right, what's going to happen before I slip? How to keep myself anchored and grounded. Pujya Swamiji always says, failing to plan is planning to fail. So if I know where my challenges are, it's not weak to give myself tools to ensure that I don't fall in the face of those challenges. It's strong. It's courageous to admit, yeah, I know these are my weak points. Okay, how can I strengthen them? So he'll take your booking for 60 days from now when you walk out of here.